This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update. There's a lot of news today. I didn't know much about this case, but there was an article that's been making the rounds in Canada today about a woman that is missing from Florida for 5 years now. Apparently, she went down there to be a pro wrestler. She's the ex-girlfriend of Ted Hart, who's always a controversial figure. She was actually mentioned in a Rolling Stone article about Ted Hart, where they said, quote, beside him, Sam Fiddler, his wrestling student and girlfriend, rests sleepily in a double XL purple fur robe, end quote. So she's actually documented as his girlfriend by Rolling Stones back then. But apparently she went missing on November 19th, 2016. So just about 5 years ago. She was 29 years old at the time. She's from Alberta, Canada. She came to Florida in March 2016 for wrestling. Investigators believe those who knew her in Florida may have information on her. Her family hasn't heard from her in 5 years. She hasn't posted anything on social media in 5 years. She was also associated with the controversial Chase and Rants or something from the Team Vision dojo. So bizarre case for sure. Hopefully she turns up and she's not dead, but it doesn't sound very good. I put the link in the description and I use the screenshot of the missing thing if anyone has information on her and wants to contact Florida authorities. I'd rather be in Florida right now than Canada because right where I am right now, it's -4 degrees. And I had to go out there and run after. But I'll finish off the news here. Stephanie McMahon made Adweek's list of the 34 most powerful women in sports. I find that interesting because they constantly deny that wrestling is a sport. They like to call their wrestlers performers or storytellers, but she's not denying herself from being on this list of the 34 most powerful women in sports. I don't know what other sports she's involved with. I'm going to have to assume she made that list because of her wrestling work. Cody Rhodes has apparently deleted his Twitter account. Yes, that is actually news today. I actually don't mind Cody that much. The gimmick that I did with him earlier was just a publicity stunt that I actually made money from on hits on videos. But I do understand that the Blood Hunter actually does not like him, from what Blaze has told me, because I did spend some time with Blaze on the weekend. And she doesn't like Brandy Rhodes very much. And Kevin Sullivan sure as hell doesn't like that fat bastard Arn Anderson very much. So that would be a very interesting match if that ever happened. But I don't think the American Chicken would ever have the guts to step into the ring with the Blood Hunter. But I do have to say he has some great accomplishments, so I definitely don't hate him personally myself. Got to admire his accomplishments. As far as WWE NXT 2.0, which has been not a rating success, apparently they're thinking of going from PG-13 to PG-14 because they think that might help get them more viewers. Part of the problem is now they have a lot of people having their first match in front of a crowd on there because the development system no longer does house shows. And there's just way too much wrestling on TV. So I don't know. I've watched the highlights of it. I'm not interested in it. There's very little wrestling. I am interested in. I might be interested in World Class Pro Wrestling because I'm biased because I work with them. But December 11th in Irving, Texas, Mick Foley will be appearing for World Class Pro Wrestling, as well as Eric Embry, as well as Mark Lawrence, the famous commentator. You're going to see the Blood Hunter with Blaze and Kevin Sullivan defend the Texas title against Carlito. Danny B versus Kelsey Reagan. Jenny Santana making her pro wrestling debut. She is a national and world jiu-jitsu champion versus former NWA world champion in the female division, Queen Erica. Jacob Fatu against Moonshine Mantel, who's been on AEW recently. Gideon Vane against AEW's Fuego del Sol. Charlie Haas versus Gino Medina, and a lot more. World Class actually put out their rankings recently, so there they are. Anyone interested in pausing it and saying the rankings, but I'll also show one more thing. The sad part about the December 11th event is the Von Erich boys were supposed to be on that event, and they've pulled out for an undisclosed reason. So I'll play the video that they sent about that today. Here it is.
Hello, everybody. World Class Revolution, Jerry Bostic, all everybody. That's pretty much where
all our friends at World Class Revolution.
So everything started for us, and so we got our diehard fans, and MLW to this day talks about the diehard fans in Dallas, and it all started World Class. But we have something that came up, a bit of a family situation, and unfortunately we're not going to be able to make the December 11th show. And this video was really, really hard to make because it was we're looking so forward to this, and we're not putting on an act or anything. We were extremely heartbroken.
Yeah, guys,
this.
we genuinely remember World Class and seeing you guys at our shows, and it's the best time in our lives. I mean, really heartfelt. It breaks our heart. We're not able
best memories of my life
to make this show, but mark our words, we're going to be back in World Class Revolution.
We're coming back. That's our second home and always will be. Thank you, Jerry, for everything you've done for us, and
we know it's going to be a great show, with or without us.
And we're sorry about the circumstances that are coming up, but unfortunately,
they're
we're not
out of our control, unfortunately.
So there you go. They're pulling out. Maybe they're afraid that they heard the Blood Hunter is going to be there. But as I said, Foley is going to be there and a host of others. Tickets start at just $10 to Southern Junction, Irving, Texas. My favorite venue in Texas that I've been to. Fun to party at as well. And I love the owners. So I'm going to go out there and run as I drink out of my Libra mug here. Going to go out in this -4-degree weather and run. So hope everyone has a good night. And I'm very sorry for that missing girl's family. And I hope she turns up. That's a really sad story.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates.